Nach Re Amar Man. Last chance. This is it. Of course, that's all there was, Western devotees, to chant 64 rounds a day. And then he saw that they were struggling to do 64 rounds a day, so rounds that they would chant every day, or the number of times they would bow down. They counted everything, so that they would have what is called numerical strength. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the demigods praying to Lord Kṛṣṇa within the womb have said, Swayam bhujaksha kila sattvadamni samadhina veshati chetasaike twatpada potena mahä-prasädam kuravanti kovatsapadam vavabdim. And that is that the perfection of life is to fix one's mind, to be absorbed, samadhi, on Krishna. And they go on to say that the ways and means for doing that is to follow in the footsteps of the Mahat, or the great souls. Twatpada potena mahä-prasädam. And when we find a great soul who has set the pace, and an acharya who is empowered and who gives a prescription, if we follow that prescription, then we will be successful. Prabhupada calls this the Acharya Sampradaya, and it's also known in the Dim, and that is the material world's an ocean, and it's impossible to cross the ocean. In fact, people try in various ways to overcome the problems of life. Kaviraj Goswami in the Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita says, these temporary methods for trying to cross the ocean are like grabbing onto the tail of a dog and expecting it to pull you across the ocean. Come here, Poochie. And you hold on to its tail. Even if it was a very strong dog, it wouldn't make it very far. This is the ludicrous attempt to try to solve the problems of life by one's own imagination, or by the prescription of those who are not empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Haridäsa Thäkura was appointed the Namacharya. He showed the example that just by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one could attain all perfection. And we have a clear prescription, which is to chant at least 16 rounds a day. And if one follows the prescription to the best of one's ability, then by the mercy of the Guru Parampara, the mahä-prasädam, and one will achieve something that is unachievable in any other way in this world, which is to cross the ocean of material life and go back home, back to Godhead. We're fortunate to have acharyas who show that one can become fully absorbed in the process of Krishna consciousness. Haridäsa Thäkura is famous among them. There were great intellectuals at the time of Haridäsa Thäkura, and as I mentioned, there was an assembly of them where they were having a discussion about how to attain liberation. And they deferred to Haridäsa Thäkura, who said, just by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one attains liberation incidentally or concomitantly. It's not the main purpose of chanting Hare Krishna. To achieve Krishna Prema is the ultimate purpose of chanting Hare Krishna. And he said in that of the habit pattern that you're in, or to find an escape from the tyranny of the senses, then you can relate to this verse, because it says even if someone starts from the lowest position imaginable, but takes up the process of hearing and chanting, then such a person can become elevated to the highest position. What to speak of somebody who can see the Lord or comes to see the Lord face to face, which happens in due course of time by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. When Prabhupada first came to America, he started this process of public chanting of Hare Krishna. And is anybody here that was walking in the earth at that time or any recent time remember the first time that you heard somebody chant Hare Krishna, as in a Harinam Sankirtan party? You can remember? Why? Because you heard it from the womb, and then when he came out, and there was ching, ching, ching. Would somebody like to relate the first time you heard Hare Krishna? The Hare Krishna mantra? Vishnu Gada Prabhu. We'll give you a mic.
Thank you. I was a freshman in college at Purdue University, and it was the spring of 1970. And at that time, it just been the Kent State Massacre, and there were demonstrations in every, colleges all over the country. But some devotees from New Vrindavan came to the campus, and they were chanting in the campus mall. They had shaved heads, and they had 2 kids with them. And they were chanting, and it was just revolutionary. And of course, in that time, it's probably still, there's a lot of the Campus Crusade for Christ people were there. And they were, after they chanted, the devotees spoke. And it made a lot of sense.
So I was 7 years old. This is like 10 years back. I come from a town called Baroda. It's in Gujarat. And a new center was opened, ISKCON Baroda. And then in the daytime, me and my mom were at home, and somebody knocked on her door. So there was a white body person, tall. And Indian women, they are generally shy, and white body coming at your doorstep. And chopdi is a Gujarati word, which is a book. So he knocked and he said, my mom opened the door a little bit, and he said, please buy 1 chopdi. So, please take 1 book. And then my mom gave some rupees, and she took the book. And then he said, chant, this is the Maha Mantra. And then he said the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And now that you asked the question, if you remember, it's coming to my mind that's the time when I heard the Maha Mantra first time, 30 years back. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupada.
What did it feel like when you heard the mantra? What was it like?
It was just the whole experience of somebody out of the country coming and giving Krishna book at your house. So I was just in awe, how is this, how does this work? But now I know.
Now you know. Now I know. Michael. The mic to Michael.
Hare Krishna. But the first memorable time, I went to a school. I was in 8th grade. It was called the Abbott School. I went to a school. I was in 8th grade. It was called the Abbott School in Miami Beach.